What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Rocky Road podcast. We're glad you can make it back to us for episode 2. I'm your co-host, Trey, and you know I can't do it by myself, so I'm also joined here
by co-host Rhett. Super excited for episode 2. We have a great things to bring y'all today. But before I begin, I want to address the elephant or the giraffe in the room. This is something Trey brought for us. So we're looking for a name. We heard some feedback from episode 1. Maybe decorate the wall a little bit. So this is part 1 of our decoration. So in the comments, y'all go try to name what we should name the giraffe and everything like that.
We'll choose the best name. We'll put a hat on him or her, depending on what the name is. And she or he will be sitting in the background of every podcast that we do. Fact. So this is our first edition to the Rocky Road podcast.
I'm excited. Looks good.
Yep.
And it's tall, too.
4 foot tall at Walmart. Freaked me out first time I seen it. But I thought it would be a great addition. But before we get into what we have planned for today, we have to ask Rhett, what is the jersey of the day?
So jersey of the day is the 2018-2019 Toronto Raptors Kawhi Leonard earned edition jersey. So Nike rolled out a little thing for a couple years. If your team made the playoff, they would get an extra jersey the next year. So this is there. They ended up winning the championship in this jersey. So pretty iconic. And I would like to ask some Toronto fans how they feel about this. Because after this, Toronto fully revamped. And now they have like the Raptors going up and stuff like that. So
shout out Toronto. Shout out Drake.
Facts.
Awesome.
And also shout out Kawhi. First season finally being healthy for a long time since this season. So,
but you know, like we said, we have a lot of stuff planned for y'all today. The first thing we have planned is a great event that me and Rhett actually got to sit in on for my second time, Rhett's third time, I believe.
Second time. Yeah, I couldn't make it last year, sadly.
But it was called Secret Church, and I'm going to let Rhett explain a little deeper what that means.
So Secret Church, it is a 6-hour event put on by Radical, and it's David Platt's kind of thing. I don't know if it's organization, church, something. It's hosted by David Platt, and it is a 6-hour Bible study, really to replicate what Christians in persecuted places have to go through, on a weekly basis. So like places where the gospel is not welcome or where just saying the name Christ will get you killed, they have to go and hide. And most of the time they will have long Bible studies, 6-8 hours at a time. So, and it's really kind of eye-opening to realize, what other people around the world have to go through. And David Platt does an amazing job with this. This year we went through the book of Elijah. Yeah. What did they go through last year?
Last year was my first year attending, and it really opened my eyes to what goes on around other worlds. But last year we went through the book of Matthew, and it was an awesome correlation. I just started watching the show The Chosen at the time, so seeing the correlations on what he was talking about and being able to see it in my mind was a cool correlation to put together. And then the first year that Rhett attended, they went through
the book of Ruth, which was really awesome because one thing that they do is they do 4 sessions, and Ruth only has 4 chapters. So we got through each chapter really in detail, and just to see a bunch of the correlations and stuff. But the main correlation with the book of Ruth is that the book of Ruth is one big love story with Ruth and Boaz and how they come together. But it ultimately shows the ultimate love story of the Lord loving us by sending his son, Jesus Christ, for us to die on the cross. Because Jesus actually came from the lineage of Ruth. If you go through and all the pieces and stuff, family trees, genealogy.
There we go.
It's
Good word.
Lord uses Ruth for the coming of the Messiah, which is pretty awesome.
That's great. That's a great word. He does open your eyes and correlate things that you never thought about before. There's a lot of stuff in this year's going through the book of Elijah that I never would have put together without him sitting there and breaking it down, tying it to other books of the Bible, and just showing how everything in the Bible just works together. What's one thing that really stood out to you this year?
One thing that really stood out to me, so at the beginning of session 3, we kind of took this little survey. And at first, I'm wondering, like, why are we doing this survey?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of this? And it was questions you're struggling with fear, discouragement, exhaustion, physical pain, and self-pity, loneliness, or has crossed your mind about not wanting to go on in life? And so we had that self-survey, and then going through the book of Elijah, and whenever he ultimately says he no longer wants to do this no more, like he's ready for it to end, but ultimately seeing how the Lord provided for his needs in the moment. And I want to say that's the connection he made in that part to the book of Matthew. We're talking about all the places the Lord led him to, and that was pretty awesome. But the Lord provided for him bread when he needed bread, but also told him, you cannot live by bread alone.
Man should not live by bread alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know for me personally, one of the main things that stands out to me, and it stood out to me when we went through the book of Matthew, and it stood out to me when we went through the book of Elijah, and if I was there for Ruth, it probably would have stood out to me then. But the hard to reach videos. After every session, they have I want to say about 10-minute video called Hard to Reach.
It's 25.
25
it's
minutes.
Like 25.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
A cool 25-minute video called Hard to Reach. And it's about these people, I can't remember their name at the time, but they go into these hard to reach countries where it's hard, where there's very few Christians. It's very hard to preach the gospel over there. They have to go into hiding, and a lot of them actually face very bad persecution for believing in the Lord, our Savior, Jesus Christ. And seeing some of the paths they took, I know this year they went on a long day's journey just to go to a church.
Yeah.
They, I think, traveled for days, got to a spot, and they had to travel for days more just to attend a church. And the people they met on the way and how they stopped and they prayed for every last one. And all of them were looking for medicine or maybe money or something materialistic, something attainable. But they were met with prayer for their needs instead. And that stuck out to me huge going through this book.
Yeah. There's a bar, the dude said, woman came up to him and said, hey, do you have any medicine? He said, I can give you something better. Let me present to you the gospel. Amen. And that's awesome. They went through Nepal, and I love Nepal because of Mount Everest. And
Mount Everest is in Nepal?
Yeah, it is in Nepal.
I did not know that.
It's I would like to climb. I don't want to climb Mount Everest. I like the thought of me climbing Mount Everest.
There we go.
But Nepal, it is crazy. Think about how hard it is to reach Nepal because of the Himalaya mountains.
Yeah.
And there are no roads. You have to walk journeys, a day's journey. Like they had to drive to one part, then had to hike just so they could drive more to another part. But my first year, they actually did North Korea, but they weren't able to go to North Korea. But it was cool to see how North Korea was at one time a very populous in Christianity, but seeing their new regime and whatever, it's not democracies, communism. Place come in and take over everything and has pushed out Christians and has persecuted them.
Yeah. So. I know one thing that really broke my heart, and I'm pretty sure I can speak for everyone who attended Secret Church. I think he said we have 50,000 people just on the live roughly. But in Nepal, when people had died and people passed away, they had to burn their bodies that day. Like they didn't have time to mourn or try to get all the family together from everywhere and plan a funeral and eat afterwards. But in their country, it is tradition for when they die, they take them to this cremation building and they have to burn them the same day that they died. And seeing the videos of the mothers and family members crying over dead bodies, knowing that they didn't know the gospel, and they're sitting there crying and mourning, and me knowing where they're going, just kind of broke my heart because it's like I said, it's hard to reach those people because of where they're at, what their government sees, or mainly what their country believes in.
Yeah.
And just knowing that there's people on days in and days out burning their bodies and not knowing where they're
Yeah.
going is it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, think about Nepal. It is one of the most religious countries in the world, but it's filled with Hinduism and Buddhism.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, they live their entire life trying to be good enough for something that you'll never know if you are good enough.
Yeah.
And what the gospel tells us that we are never good enough. The only thing that makes us good enough is the blood of Christ.
Amen.
So it's kind of heartbreaking to see, all the people, doing the rituals, going to do the meditation and all that for hours upon hours to find I forgot what they call it, but some type of like realm thing. But yeah, that was very eye opening.
And for those of you who don't know the cycle that they kind of live, they get born, of course. They live their life to try to, like, the best of their abilities, like they said, live up to something that they don't know if they can live up to. And then once they pass away, you get reincarnated.
Yeah.
And a man that was sitting on the side of the cremation building, I believe, he explained it as, when I die, I don't know, like, if I was good, I may come back as this, that, or the third. But if I wasn't, I may come back as an ox.
Cow, yeah.
Or I may come back as this. And maybe I can live out that life good enough to I can make it to their heaven, of course. And just knowing that you're living your whole life trying to be the best you can be in this cycle that you believe you're stuck in. Not knowing, hey, when I pass away, am I going to finally make it to this paradise place, or am I not good enough? And that's a terrifying thing to just sit back and think about. All these people are living their life trying to be the greatest they can be, the best person they can be. And all of this is for a quote-unquote false gospel.
Yeah.
Knowing that we are met with the love of Jesus Christ, and we know that. So we know when we pass away, ultimately where we're going. And these people who can't be reached are trying to live out these false lives. It's
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But shout out David Platt. David Platt does a great job each and every year. He is incredibly smart. Just some of the Hebrew he would just say.
Yeah.
And just a lot of the connections, and also the production of it is also really, really good.
Until he will circulate a couple.
Until he would be going and just that circle, he'll be trying to circle the word water, and then that thing would be all the way over there.
Yeah, the circles were not circling this episode,
but
this live stream.
Yeah, but it's a great thing Radical does each and every year.
Yeah.
But mentioning David Platt being smart, that also reminds us of who else is kind of smart. Me and Trey, we're both pretty smart.
Yeah.
Not as smart as David Platt, but we are trying to get smarter. So this brings us into our word of the day.
Yeah, we're so excited for that. So excited.
Yes. So our word of the day is invulnerability.
Say it one more time.
Invulnerability.
Invulnerability.
Now we just got to put it all together.
The opposite of being
vulnerability.
That word. There we go. So what was that? Was that how you spell it first off?
Oh yeah, we spelled entendre wrong last episode.
You spelled entendre wrong.
I did. So invulnerability. invulnerability. Invulnerability.
It's a big word.
It's
a big word for Elmo.
It is.
So what's it mean?
The definition is the state of being protected or immune from harm, damage, or attack.
So being invincible.
Yeah, being invincible, just like that.
Shout out the Invincible TV show, by the way. If you watch it, you know real peak TV.
Yeah, just nothing can phase you. Nothing can phase you. Yeah. For example, in comics, a character with invulnerability can't be hurt in battle. That's what ChatGPT says.
So, invulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
There we go.
It's just a fancy word for indestructible.
Yep. Just like that.
Whoever made the English dictionary made a bunch of words that mean the same thing. A simile. Simile. There we go. I paid attention. My 10th grade English teacher, I paid attention. I promise.
Hey, shout out 10th grade.
But they made a bunch of similes for no reason.
Wait, no, it'll be synonym. Simile is the contrast between like ras.
My 10th grade English teacher, I did not pay attention. I'm sorry. My bad. I do apologize. I hope you're not watching this. I hope you don't find this. But invulnerability and entendre, those were our two word of the days throughout the. Yeah, those are huge words. We're going to start dialing it back to a third grade level because I can't.
Next week.
I can't keep spelling these and. You know.
Next week we'll make one a little bit easier.
But now, I hope y'all don't forget. Please drop a name in the comment section for our giraffe. We will name he or she next episode after we look at your comments. We don't know what we're going to do with this thing. But also, comment some things we could put back here on the wall that y'all would like to see to just fill the space so it's not an empty area. We would love to see y'all's comments, get y'all's ideas. Remember, full-time college student. I'm 22. Don't comment anything like a flat screen TV. We don't got it like that. But that's all we have for y'all this week. We would love for y'all to tune in next week. Or next episode.
So next episode.
For episode 3. Thank y'all for watching.
Take care, and everything I do, strive to be like Jesus.